If you're a mum, if you're a home educator, if you're a human being, you have felt stressed. In fact, in the last hour alone, you've probably felt stressed multiple times. And that is completely normal. Stress is, dare I say it, an inevitable part of life. But can you, despite that, eliminate stress? Or more specifically, can you eliminate the effects that your stress are having on you and on your children? Okay, let's talk about it.
This is Raising Mums, the podcast that raises up Muslim mums like you so that you can raise your children well. And here's your host, Dr. Gemma.
The Cambridge Dictionary defines stress as worry caused by a situation. Well, I'm sorry to whoever wrote that, but I strongly disagree. Stress is not caused by a situation. It is caused by what you think about that situation. And I'm going to talk about that more in this episode. What you're about to hear is an exclusive peek inside Launch Your Homeschool, my online homeschooling course that will be opening up to new students once again at the end of July, inshallah. And inside Launch Your Homeschool, we run regular group coaching calls where I answer questions from the other mothers in the community about homeschooling, parenting, and most often about the emotional repercussions of choosing to be home educators. So what you're about to hear is an exclusive from inside one of those group coaching calls in Launch Your Homeschool. Because these calls are done on video, and I was never anticipating turning this into a podcast, I want to just make something super clear. At one point in this recording, I start talking about how you, your soul, your essence, is not your brain. It's not your mind, but rather your soul, your essence, resides not in your head, but in your heart. And so I just wanted to make that clear before we jump into this so it all makes sense. Okay, let's go. We will start with the questions that were submitted ahead of time. But as I said, feel free to add any questions you might have into the chat. So the first question is beautiful and very brave question that I'll read out now. Salam, sister, I have a bad habit of overthinking and then getting stressed about almost anything. And this is reflecting now on my children as they're being homeschooled and are all the time with me. I have tried very hard to be a good mum. MashaAllah. I've tried very hard to be a good mum, to set routines, trying hard to teach them up to their level and keeping the house clean. But my stress levels are always high. I get panicky and angry. I keep telling myself, if your children were at school, they won't have to witness me being like this. I love your podcast. That's the only thing that keeps me going right now. Lots of love. Well, alhamdulillah, thank you for your kind words about the podcast. First of all, well done to you for being so brave and asking that question. You've written it beautifully as well. And so many of us who are here right now can relate to that question. There's a lot of emotions there. There's a lot of feelings, big feelings that you are experiencing in your home. You're saying that you're stressed about almost anything, about being about homeschooling, about routines, about keeping the house clean. You get panicky, you get angry. Okay. As you have pointed out here, the reason why feeling these ways, feeling stressed is an issue is because it impacts on your children and because it makes you unhappy. The way you feel impacts, in fact, it doesn't impact, it has a direct relationship with the way you act. If you feel a certain way, you act a certain way. But the state of your home, the state of your homeschool is not what's causing your feelings. If you look at 10 different women, if they come home and the house is a mess, all of those 10 women will behave differently. Some women will feel stressed. Some will feel angry and frustrated. Others won't care at all. They'll just say, well, okay, we'll deal with that later. I don't know, some people will see it in a very positive way, and some people might see it very negatively, makes them angry, frustrated, stressed. Why is it that some women can come home to a messy home and feel fine, happy, joyful, grateful, and others feel stressed? Is it because some women are just better, that Allah has just made them better, quote unquote, and other women he has not given that ability? Is that woman better than the other? No, of course not. The reason why some women get stressed and others don't by a messy home or a naughty child or a difficult situation is because of the way they manage their thoughts. Your messy home doesn't lead to you feeling stressed. It is the way you think. It is what you think about that messy home that leads to the stress. You know, if you want to feel a different way, if you want to feel less panicky, less stressed, changing your homeschool, changing the cleanliness of your home, changing anything in your life is not going to make you feel better. The only thing that can make you feel better is what goes on in here. So there, and I hope that shows that there's nothing wrong with you, because you don't lie in here, do you, Neelab? Your soul is not your brain. Your soul is here, right? In your heart. This is who you are. And there is nothing wrong with her. There's nothing wrong with her. It's just this that gets in the way. Okay? So you have to, first of all, get clarity on what you're thinking. Get clear on what thoughts it is that leads you to always feel stressed, that leads you to feel panicky and anxious. And when you get clear on that, instantly, that is half the battle won. You'll start to realize that those thoughts that you have going on in your brain are not true. Sometimes those thoughts have come from your childhood. Maybe they're the things your mother used to say, your father used to say, your school teacher used to say, or maybe it's just a habit. You started thinking those things one day and you just got stuck in that train of thought and you never realized you were doing it. Things like, I'm not enough, I'm not good enough, I'm making a mistake, other people are better than me. All those things that happen in our brain that we're completely unaware of, that subconsciously play on repeat. I was listening to something and there was, I think research was showing something along the lines of 95% or something like that of the thoughts that go on in our brains are not conscious. They're not consciously, we don't consciously think those thoughts, but they're still playing all day long. So your first job is to work out what thoughts you're having that make you feel that way. And then once you feel that way, once you work out what those thoughts are, then we can work to change them. But even before you even change them, stop judging yourself. I can see there that you're feeling guilty about having negative emotions. So not only are you having the negative emotions, but you're putting something else on top of guilt and shame and all the other negativity. Get rid of the guilt, okay? We all have human brains that play these games with us. It's nothing to feel guilty about or shameful about. Instead of doing that, give yourself love and compassion and work out the thoughts that are leading to that. Hey, so if you are feeling stressed right now, think about this. It's not the dishes that are in the sink. It's not your toddler's behavior. It's not the fact that your little girl doesn't like maths. It's what you're making all of that mean, what you're making it mean about you that is causing the stress. So think about it. When your toddler misbehaves or your daughter refuses to do her maths, what thoughts go through your head? And it is those thoughts that cause you to feel stressed and all the negative emotions that come with that. So if you want to change the way you feel about your homeschool, don't try and change your children. Instead, look at your thoughts first. And I have to say, after years of homeschooling and years of working online to support other Muslim homeschooling families, it is the way we think It is the emotions that we feel on a daily basis that are really the biggest stumbling blocks. You know, once you've found a curriculum that works and a routine that works for your family, the thing that really decides and determines who keeps going in the long term and who gives up is the way you think. And that's why it's really important to me that when I provide this course, Launch Your Homeschool, I also provided support for helping Muslim mothers to manage these big emotions, these big feelings that they're having. And so that's what we do in these group coaching calls, which I offer to the students of Launch Your Homeschool on a regular basis. If you are interested in joining us next time we open doors at the end of July, make sure you put your name on the waiting list. Just go to launchyourhomeschool.com, pop your name and your email address down there, and you will be sent all the information when we open doors. Okay, guys, let's wrap it up here. Thank you so much for joining me here today. Have a beautiful week. Assalamu alaikum.